Hello everyone and welcome to a very interesting Blitz game I played on Lichess a few days ago. I posted it on Twitter as a GIF or as a GIF. We already discussed that the creator of the GIF said that it's supposed to be pronounced GIF, but I'm still gonna go with GIF. And a lot of you guys said that I should show it on the channel, so here it is. And before we check out the game, I would just like to say that since a lot of you are interested in the Lichess team battles, I will create a poll where you will be able to vote on the name of our team. I don't feel like picking a name myself, so feel free to suggest some of the names for the team in the comment section below, and then I'm gonna choose some of them which are, you know, some reasonable ones, and put them in a poll so we can vote on them. So that being said, let's check out the game. I played against a user named Drebo. He was rated at the time this game was played some 2280, around that. And I had the white pieces. It's a 3-minute blitz game, so I do hope you enjoy it. With e4 by me, e6, Drebo goes for the French defense, I go knight to f3, and he goes for c5, so transposing into the Sicilian defense. And since I don't have any information on Mr. Drebo, I'm using the photo of the hoodie guy, and in honor of the hoodie guy, I am of course wearing a hoodie as well. We have d4 by me and a6, and now as my opponent did not attack the e4 pawn by developing the knight, I play c4, which is what I usually do when I can. It's just very useful. We have queen to c7, and now I go knight to c3. And here there is one game in the database where b6 was played, but here he goes for d6, and it is already as of move 5 that we have a completely new game. So I continued development, prepared to castle kingside. He played knight to d7, and I went bishop to e3, still waiting with castles. He played c captures on d4, I played knight captures on d4, and now knight g to f6. Just continuing development, I castled kingside, and he played b6. And now what I should probably go is f4 right away, but first I played rook to c1. I didn't really put much thought into it. It's a 3-minute blitz game, and I thought it's just going to be very useful to have this rook here on the same file as the black queen. So he played bishop to b7, he put pressure on my e4 pawn here, and I didn't defend it. I should have played f3, but I went f4 all the way. His king is still in the center of the board. If he castles queenside, I thought that's not going to be a problem, and he's still 2 moves away from castling kingside. So I gave up the e4 pawn. He captured it with the knight, and I continued with f5. Still, he has to do something. So he played knight captures on c3. He's up a pawn, so why not trade down even further? I played rook captures on c3, and now e5, just getting rid of the tension in the center, and now attacking my knight. And if you put this position to an engine, the engine will give you knight b3, knight c2, knight f3, but I of course went for knight to e6, and this is where our game begins. So you should definitely capture the knight. If you don't take it, it's just you're allowing a monster knight on e6 on move 14. So he of course captured it, and it is the strongest move. And I played f captures on e6 right away. You could go for bishop to h5 check, and then he might run into some problems. If he blocks with g6, you open up the f file. But instead, I played f captures on e6, attacked his knight, and after knight to f6. Here, I played rook captures on f6. You could also go for bishop h5 check with some ideas like knight captures to rook f7, attack the queen, but you will not have time to recapture the knight here because queen to c6 comes with a mate threat, so it's not very useful. So instead, I just played rook captures on f6. I removed the defender of the h5 square, and also if he captures the rook, he will no longer have g6 at his disposal. So he played g captures on f6, and I played bishop to h5 with check. And here is where he really could have played a better move. Well, the only playable moves are basically king d8 and king to e7. He played king to d8 here. King to e7 is what you should have played, but again, it's a 3-minute blitz game. It's hard to really decide where to put your king. But here he would be perfectly fine here. There basically is nothing white can do here. But I mean, there's nothing white can do here if this was a normal game. In a blitz game, anything can happen. You can play bishop f7, play something like b4, c5, bust open the position, and black still has a king in the center of the board. But he played king to d8, and he allowed me this very tricky c5 move. And now he has some problems. He cannot capture as this pawn is pinned. He could capture with the b pawn, and this is what I thought he would do, because if pawn captures, I can just play rook captures on c5, and even though I'm down a rook, I'm not all that much worse. I have a pawn on e6, I have a rook on c5, the queen on d1, the bishop slicing over here. After the rook moves, I could maybe get the bishop over to b6, create some threads there, and here he would have to find bishop to c6. It's a silly looking move and an ugly looking move to play, but after bishop to c6 he would be very much okay. It's very much unclear how you would continue this game. You have to go back with the rook and then well, try to look for your chances elsewhere. But it's not like you were clearly down a rook. But instead, after this c5 move I made, he played rook to g8. He created a threat of his own, just a rook captures on g2, as the bishop covers that square as well. But this gives me all the time in the world I need to get c captures on d6 in. I didn't think I saw a rook captures on g2, but I just didn't see if there was any other way he could create some threats. So he played rook captures on g2 with check. If you try queen captures on d6, that's not going to work. You can just either go rook to d3, or even better, bishop captures with check. Now you don't really have a good square for your king. You have to play king e7, and now bishop c5 just wins the queen this way. So instead, he played rook captures on g2 with check. I have to go to f1. If I go king h1, then you just move the rook, and it's, well, not there, obviously, but rook g4. So you block the bishop's retreat, and this will now result in mate. It's check, and once you give up the rook and the queen, this is checkmate. So, of course, I went to f1, king f1, and now I didn't see any way for him to continue the attack, and he didn't find any useful move either. I mean, you could play bishop captures here, but you're just giving up a queen. If you go queen captures on d6, you run into the same idea. Just captures here with check, king e7, and again bishop c5 will win the queen. So after this king to f1 move, he played queen captures on c3. He decided to give up the queen to create some room for his king, but I just continued with the attack. I played bishop captures on b6 with check. He played king to c8. Only move if you don't want to part with your queen this way. I played the d7 with check. He played king to b8, and here I just played b captures on c3. It is the most correct move to play. You just bringing out a queen also wins, but I decided to capture the queen, as I saw there's nothing else for him to do. And here he just played rook captures on h2. And now I had to figure out a way to do it, and I didn't want to waste too much time. So I played queen to d6 with check. It's very interesting, but it's actually a mate in two, because after d8 queen, he has to block with the bishop, and now queen to c7 is mate. But I didn't find this mate. I thought that after bringing a queen into the game, I have to do this check, queen d6 check. So instead, I first gave up the queen with check. So after he captured it, now I brought a queen into the game. And after he blocked it, now I just captured with check. He played king to here, and I just played queen to c7 mate. So instead of a mate in 2, I found mate in 3, but still I was very, very happy with my game, and a lot of you enjoyed it on Twitter, so I thought you might also enjoy it here, as it's not, well, it's very interesting. It has mistakes, make no mistake, but still, in a 3-minute blitz game, you have to try and exploit it, and it's always easier to attack than to defend. And this time, I was able to pull it off. So, if you want to go through the game yourselves, I will put the PGN and also the link to the Lichess game in the description below if you want to check that out. And yeah, it's not very often that I will show something like this, a blitz game I played on Lichess, but like I said, you said maybe I should do it, and so here it is. Very nice idea. And it's not, even if black defended properly after that c5 move, it wasn't all that easy to defend. Even being down a rook, white still has a whole board at his disposal, and I just, I just very much enjoyed playing this game. That's basically what I'm saying. So yeah, that's the game. I do hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to name some team names in the comment section below, so we can use it for our Lichess team battles, and then we're gonna create a poll to vote on the names. I would like to thank Volker Legrand for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check two of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon. Continuing the coverage of the FIDE Grand Prix, we are waiting to see if Maxime will qualify into the candidates tournament. Checking up on your wonderful suggestions, and as always, whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.